Welcome back to Rochester Living with Mark Siwiec and Corey James Moran, brought to you by Elysian Homes by Mark Siwiec and Associates. This is episode 218, and Mark is not sitting across from me.
I am not.
You are not Mark.
Nope. I wish I had his money, but I'm not. But thanks for asking.
We have Otto Harnischfeger, the executive director of the Pirate Toy Fund, a dear friend, one of my favorite organizations in all of Rochester, and celebrating your 30th anniversary. So I figured it would make sense with that piece, and then also the holiday toy drives coming up at the end of this month, to have you on in Mark's absence, because he is in Barcelona. Everyone pray for him. It's tough. It's real tough.
You sure he doesn't want to adopt anybody?
Yeah, right?
You know? Yeah. I'll call him Poppy. I'll cut the grass. Whatever he needs to do, I'm in.
When he lands, I'll send him some texts, and we'll see. Before we get into just a conversation about the Pirate Toy Fund, I want to talk about you, which I know you're going to be bashful about it and not want to take any credit, but you deserve it. I do want to talk about real estate really quick because it's winding down. This is the time of the year where things really trend downward. So just an update on our numbers that we share every week. Single-family active listings in Monroe County. Last week it was 559. We're down to 546 right now. In the 6 county region, it was 999, down to 945. Under contract and pending. That number had been going up the past couple of weeks, which meant that there was more turnover happening. That's going down as well. Monroe County, we're at 1123 last week. We're at 1094 right now. And then for the 6 county region, it was 1730 last week. We're at 1700 right now. So, Mark has always said November 10th was kind of the cutoff date where the market goes pretty quiet for these lovely winter months that we experience. Is that because
people don't want to move in the winter?
A lot of it's this distraction with the holidays coming up. Having to donate to the Pirate Toy Fund obviously takes precedence over these things.
It does.
And then the market usually kicks back in mid-January, late January. So it's a little bit of a break for us. So.
Now, did the interest rate just drop?
So it was a lot lower. It was at 6.13 literally a week ago. And great seg. Didn't even coach you to do this.
No, you didn't.
The Federal Reserve met. They cut their federal fund rate by 1/4 basis point, which is what everyone expected. And you would think that rates would go down further, right? No, they actually ended up going up. They jumped. Right now, they're sitting at 6.33%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with the commentary that came after the Fed announced the cut, because there's another chance for a cut in December next month. And they were more or less saying that it's not, a slam dunk, definitely going to happen kind of thing. So that can kind of shake, some confidence. And then there's, not a necessarily direct tie between mortgage interest rates and the federal fund rate. It affects it, but there's a lot of other things that are happening. So, still 6.33, not terrible. 15 years, 5.80. And again, December is a little bit foggy right now. We don't know what's going to happen. There's also the fact that we don't have any economic data to go by. So if we can open up the government, that would be probably helpful.
I think you should start your own.
Our own government?
Yeah, I think you should.
I feel like we did that in the past at one point. Worked out okay.
Do they call it a mutiny? What do they call it now?
Something like that, right? So Otto, let's turn to you. So you're the executive director of the Pirate Toy Fund. How many years now?
I've been with the Toy Fund over 20 years. I became executive director in 2020.
Okay.
Again,
perfect timing. Just drop you in the pandemic.
I tell you, it was crazy. It was right when Gary was retiring, Gary the Happy Pirate, who co-founded the Toy Fund with Dave and Lori Simonetti. And they did it after the death of Dave and Lori's daughter, Christy, who was battling leukemia. And at the time, they had the world's, or the United States' largest bone marrow drive was right here in Rochester, New York, when they were trying to help her. And when she was in the hospital, she got so many toys, she subsequently started handing them out to other kids. So after she passed, they decided to form the Pirate Toy Fund, which is what it does. It gives toys to children in need, be it in the hospital, be it in whatever stressful situation they might be in, just to brighten their day.
I think that's one of the most beautiful and kind of poignant things about the Pirate Toy Fund is the fact that a child essentially came up with the idea.
It did. And when I started this 27 years ago, I was playing Santa Claus, which I think you're aware of that.
Yes, very well.
I was at the Strong Memorial Hospital at the time, and there was this little girl so sick. But for one moment, that toy took her pain away. And I was sold on the organization ever since then, the power of a toy, what it can do to help a child heal. So ever since then, I've been involved with it. And then when, like I say, Gary decided to retire in 2020, I threw my hat in the ring. They messed up. They hired me.
I think they're doing okay.
We've been going strong since then. We had a new building donated to us. We got some great community support because we couldn't do it without Rochester.
Of course, yeah.
That's what makes it happen. There are donations, there are sponsorships, people coming out every year on our toy drive, dropping toys in our toy boxes. That's what makes us successful. Not me. It's not me. I'm just a pretty face. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but I'm just a pretty face of the organization. It's all about Rochester helping Rochester.
It is, but I do want to talk about you because let's talk about what you were doing before you got involved with the Pirate Toy Fund.
I was with the Rochester Police Department for almost 33 years. 29, I worked in the Special Investigation Section. They call it the Vice Squad. And my expertise was wiretaps is what I did. We put a lot of bad guys away. We really did. Not that you can do that anymore today, as you notice, with the way that everything's in duress. But I love the job. If I could do it all over again, I would if the laws would just change a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
But there's some great women and men that do it every day. And I love doing what I did. I did. But I also was taught at a young age, you got to give back. You know, my mom always said, run this over to Mrs. Johnson's or Mrs. Garen next door. You always take care of the ones who are in need. And ever since then, I've been volunteering. And then here in I took over the Pirate Toy Fund as executive director, which is crazy, but I love the position.
So you mentioned Gary the Happy Pirate, sadly no longer with us.
Yeah, it's sad. But we're carrying on his tradition. The man, I loved it when he laughed, his whole body shook. He was a great, I learned so much from him for this organization and so much he put into this organization. And then he just decided to retire to spend more time with his grandchildren. And immediately he was diagnosed with this thing called supranuclear palsy, which subsequently took his life. But he left a mark on Rochester, let me tell you.
And I mean, more ways than one, obviously.
He has.
The show, of course.
He has. Oh, yeah, there was a show. He went to the White House twice, him and Doug. They went to there to perform. He had a big heart. His wife, Kathy, we're still in touch with, and his kids. It's just sad that we lost a good one, you know.
So where did he come in? Obviously, he was the creator back in 1995. Again, crazy to think it's been 30 years.
Yeah,
How did that all come together?
I think that he sat down with Dave and Lori Simonetti after the passing, like I said, of Christy, and they wanted to create something that gave back. They wanted to create something that helped Rochester because they tried helping Christy. And the three of them got together and decided to form the Pirate Toy Fund. And when they started 30 years ago, I think the first toy drive, I think they gave out 400 toys.
Yeah.
Last year, we gave out 46,000 toys free of charge because of Rochester, because they help us do what we do. They help us help the kids. And that's how they started this. And they started, there was over on Village Gate, I think they had the toys in the attic. They had to go up like 5 flights of stairs. It was crazy when you hear, then we had the building on East Avenue donated to us. And then this most recent one from Adam and Kaylee Schneider, they donated the one on Turner Drive in Spencerport, which is almost 8,000 square feet, which helps us do our job a lot better. But we couldn't do it without Rochester's heart.
I mean, I've said this from the jump. When I got involved with the organization, when I was still on the radio, and we talked about a partnership, I immediately said it's a really easy one to get behind because who doesn't believe in that cause?
No, it is. And we started other programs. We have Toys on Patrol. So every law enforcement agency in Monroe County has the option to put toys in the trunk of their car. So if they go to a domestic or a car accident or something, they can hand a child a toy to feel like it's not the end of the world. Sheriff Todd Baxter, we put him in the Monroe County Jail. So if a child has to go visit a loved one, it breaks down so many barriers that this child has a toy that makes the process a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. My own son experienced it. He had a minor surgery, had his tonsils out. And I think we honestly were probably more nervous about it than he was.
Oh, I bet. Oh, yeah, you are.
But I remember, and this is probably 5 years of working with the Pirate Toy Fund at that point, I remember going into the waiting room beforehand, and they pulled out the box, and there were the toys. And they had the Pirate Toy Fund sticker on there, and he got to pick up probably Play-Doh or something that made a mess.
And I don't know if the world knows, his dad's been on our Carousel Derby ever since. I think you've been there raising money for us and helping us.
We'll talk about the events in a sec. We'll talk about that. That one, I get dizzier every year, I feel like. But I want to keep going down this thread of the community involvement because there really is, a ton of it.
There is.
I mean, talk about some of the other partners that you guys have.
Again, Kitty Van Bordo from Van Bordo Auto Group's been phenomenal.
Did she give you a car?
She donated the van to us, our van that we do, and she covers the maintenance for it every time it goes into the shop. She is just unbelievable. And we're not the only organization she helps. She does a lot of breast cancer community things. She's everywhere. She helped us with the Corvette, we raffled off part of our 30-year anniversary.
Not just a Corvette, come on.
Hype
it up.
A brand new Z06 Corvette.
There we go.
And she gave it to us at a reduced rate, which helped us. And we were able to raise some money. We ran for 6 months. It was awesome. A lot of work, a lot of time, but it goes to show you we couldn't do it without people like them in Rochester. Rick Wallenhorst and his wife Karen and his son Rick Jr., they own RJW Enterprises. Phenomenal. Every year they're donating money to us, but then they got our asphalt parking lot donated to us. They hooked up all these companies to come in and put a brand new parking lot in for us. It didn't cost us a penny. I mean, that's what makes us what we are. It's not that yeah, I can talk about it, but they do it. It's just amazing. Again,
well, you do it too. Again, I knew coming in, you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Well, again, it's because what Rochester does to help Rochester. Again, Gary Federico, he's always been there to help us. The Simonetti brothers, Dave, who's on our job, the brothers remodeled the new building we had donated to us and wouldn't take a penny from us. In the sum of almost $100,000 they did, and they said, no, this is for the toy fund. So God bless them, and God bless people who come out every year and trek through the snow to put a toy in a toy box to help our kids. That's what makes it work.
So let's chat about the holiday toy fund, because that's, I think, probably the most famous.
It is.
That you guys have, obviously, and that's coming up here. You said the
Black
Friday.
Friday.
Okay.
Black Friday. We're out at Barnes & Noble in Webster. They're a huge supporter of ours there, and they do a book drive for us too. So at the end of the drive, we got all these books they have, or people can donate money to them, and they give it back to us, and we go back and buy toys from them to help us. And then I think Saturday we're out at Perrington. We're doing the ambulance drive to fill the ambulance. So
Okay, yeah.
The last time we were there was huge. The Perrington, the east side, came out and filled the ambulance. So we're hoping that happens again. And then the Dogs, I don't know if you heard the Dogs, it's a band that does nothing but charities.
Okay.
They're doing a concert on the 30th at Bunsey's. So Bunsey's, we're doing the toy drive for the first half of the day out there on, I think it's on Empire Boulevard right there in Webster. And then in the afternoon, there's a concert. You can come out, hear the concert, donate. They're going to have raffles and everything. And it's, again, all to benefit the Pirate Toy Fund. Then again, Monday, I think we're at Eastview Mall. And then Tuesday, we're at Marketplace Mall. And Wednesday, it's new for us this year at Grease Ridge, Boscov's. We partnered with them, and the owner is phenomenal. We sat down. Oh,
That's okay.
Of course, I forgot to turn that off before I came in
Someone
here.
wants to donate something. If you have
Yeah,
to
I
answer,
hope
that's
it
fine.
But they're letting us bring our toy box right into their department store where their toy department is, so you can just buy a toy and drop it right in the toy box. And that's huge. And then Thursday, I think we're at Aquinas. Connect to Federal Credit Union is another big sponsor of ours. We're there Friday at the Mount Read one. And then, of course, our finale is at the Strong Museum of Play on
The
that
grand
Saturday.
reveal.
That's when we have the reveal, when we find out if we made our numbers. We didn't make it last year, but Rochester, hearing that, came out and donated a lot of toys after the drive. That really helped us a lot. So we're hoping we make our number because our number is for that week that we do the toy drive. But then afterwards, we did make the number because Rochester saw that we didn't.
We step up, yeah.
Yeah, they came back out and helped again, I'm telling you.
So then talk about, where these toys go, because this is a really cool event as well.
We have over 100 program partners. We vet them through our program partner committee that to make sure they're not getting toys from someplace else so the toys can go further. So if a child's getting a toy and someplace there isn't, we might put it to the one that isn't to make sure they get one. And we vet them and we give them to those. A lot of times it's at Christmas time. We got a lot of summer programs we give toys to. But again, there's over 100 program partners that we fill 46,000 toys went out to. We do on December 14th, we do our toy giveaway. We partner with Monroe County. It's invitation only, but they send out about 5,000 invitations to kids who live in poverty. And they get to go to the Blue Cross Arena, and Venue Works, who took over the managing of the Blue Cross Arena, Colin and those guys have been phenomenal. They're giving us the venue for free. We set it up like a winter wonderland. The kids come in, see Santa, characters in costume, arts and crafts and music, pick out any toy they want and stuffed animal. That's where you get to see firsthand what our toys do for the children, the smiles on their faces, because everything else is third party removed. But we couldn't do it without the program partners wanting to help to do what they do.
And I mean, for those kids, a lot of them, that's the only gift they're going to get over the holidays.
It is. I'm telling you, we had one of the grandmothers come up last year and saying, "This is great because we weren't going to have a Christmas if you guys didn't do this." So it's touching. That part's really rewarding. It really is. And we do a lot of it, but that's the one that we really see firsthand. And then in January, we do our toy sort. Per our 501c3, we have to count the toys as income. But Corrigan Trucking, who's been with us from the beginning, they go around all holidays to all the malls, all the Wegmans, picks up all the toys, brings them to their warehouse, and then in a day in January, we go in with, I think we had like 120 volunteers last year, and within 4 hours unloaded all these tractor trailers, sorted the toys and what departments were supposed to go in, counted all the toys. That's a lot of fun. That is.
The amount of logistics that you have to operate.
There
with.
is. And thank God my daughter handles all of that. She's the operations manager. Again, I'm just a pretty face. We got to stay focused here, okay? But it's all because of Rochester wants to come out and help us. It's amazing.
And again, unbelievable cause. And I guess I would say, sadly, it's even more important now because I think over the past couple of years, if anything, we've seen a widening of this gap of the haves versus the have-nots, right?
It is. And to see a child's reaction to a toy is priceless. I mean, you see it at Christmas time when you're kids and they get something, we give it to them, they're like, wow. Let me ask you this. What was your favorite toy when you were a kid?
Let's see. Probably one of the video game systems, probably like my Sega or something back in the day.
But you remembered it.
Yeah.
You remembered it, that it made an impact on you. I had a Slinky. I keep telling this story. I had a Slinky, but I broke it within 30 seconds. It got twisted, it got bent, wouldn't go down the stairs anymore. But it was my favorite toy when I was a kid. And that toy becomes that child's confidant. It becomes their best friend. They talk to it, especially stuffed animals and dolls. They tell their fears to it. They tell their dreams to it. That's the part of a toy that a child can remember forever. And that's what we try to create.
That piece, and also that someone cares about them.
Yeah.
Like that simple piece. Think about what these kids can go through, again, very sadly, on a day-to-day basis, right? And just that kindness. I mean, just the impact, I think, is you can't measure it.
No, you can't. There's an officer on RPD, James LaRue. The guy's phenomenal. He comes by. He's part of our Toys on Patrol program. He'll pick up toys, and you got to see the photos we get where children he just interacts with on the street and hands them the toy. And their smiles from ear to ear. And here's an officer. There was this African American woman on a bench pouring rain. He gets out of his patrol car, gets an umbrella, sits next to her with his umbrella over her. He's in the rain until the bus came and she got on the bus. That doesn't make the news.
Yeah.
That should have made the news.
Very much so, yeah.
But this cop has so much heart and does so much for the community, and I love interacting with him, with the kids, and he does so much. He comes to the office anytime, whatever you need. You know, he gets the Barbies and the soldiers and the stuff for the kids. It's so rewarding to see what he does.
So it's been 30 years, right?
30 years.
How many people get involved with the Pirate Toy Fund who were once recipients of the Pirate Toy Fund?
You know, what's crazy is you see in the volunteers and their siblings or their children are now becoming volunteers. So it's becoming generational that they've been with us for so many years and their kids and family members are getting involved also with us. And again, we couldn't do it without volunteers, especially the toy giveaway, the toy sort and all that stuff we do. But it's all about heart. And I think Rochester has tons of it. And we're all upstate New York. We got a little bit in Buffalo we help with, in Syracuse and the joining counties, but your toys stay local. With your donation, there was maybe 2 times in our career that we were compelled that the children lost everything. One was Hurricane Sandy we went to, and we went down there and had a party for the kids that lost everything. And sometimes you get negative feedback, but it's all about the good.
I think that's fair to...
No, it is.
Right?
Yeah. It is. Somebody says, I want my toy to stay here. Yeah, but we're trying to help a child.
Yeah.
If it matters...
Again, end goal.
Right. It is about the child. And then I think we did another one, Penn Yan, after that huge flood there. We did a toy drive here in the middle of July, and we ended up raising 1,000 toys for their toy cupboard. So we do help others, but 99% of the time, everything stays right here in Rochester.
So you get very creative with your events. So again, the holiday toy drive is the big one, but as you mentioned, you know, you're year round, which I feel like not everyone knows.
Well, they don't. We handle everything all summer long. We do our carousel derby, which you're famous for.
Let's talk about that for a second. I can go in depth. So
well, I think I'm going to buy you a life supply of Dramamine. Okay?
What happened this May?
This May, well,
we stayed on longer. I feel like this May.
You might have. Okay, I didn't have the clock, as you know. But I tell you what, Adam Schneider, again, who donated the bill to every
Wears
year.
a tutu every year.
He does. He won't stop either. It's his trademark. But there was that one child, I shouldn't say child, but the gentleman who's on our junior board, he was way behind. I think he was way at the bottom. And anonymously, he takes like $5,000 and puts it on his account for him to win the Derby. It was awesome.
He's a great guy.
It was amazing.
It's a fun event, yeah.
He's like, don't tell me, but it's a lot of fun. Kathy DeBellis over at the Strong Museum of Play is always there to help us out.
Again, perfect marriage, right? I mean,
It is. It's a lot of fun. The Happy Pirates, who are local entertaining, they come out to a lot of our events. They'll be there on the toy giveaway. Now, there's a big surprise. We don't want to tell the public yet. On our first day of the toy drive, Chris Lopez might be doing some daredevil stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
So just stay in tune for the radio or the TV that morning. But it's going to be happening out at Barnes & Noble and Webster. So that should be exciting.
What else? Because you always have ideas. I mean, I feel like I get a text like, we're going to do the biggest snowball fight.
Well, we did. We tried, but the snow didn't come. Oh, my boy.
The 1 year.
Listen,
1 year.
I talked the board into doing it. We had it all lined up. David Dunning from the town of Charlie was on board with us. He was phenomenal, helping us do things and get things in the right way. No snow came. No snow.
No snow, no snowballs.
And then we even had Sean Fico from AP Enterprises was going to go to Buffalo and haul snow in for us. But it was 60-something degrees. The venue that we were doing it in, because you have to apply to a state, anything over 5,000 people, you have to have a special application.
Okay.
So it takes 3 months to get that application. So there was no way we could change it or move it to someplace else. The field was like 6 inches of mud. And we had food trucks lined up. We had a snowball. We had all these events. We couldn't do anything. For safety of the public, because when anybody breaking an ankle,
of course, yeah.
we canceled the snowball fight. Now, I've been asking my board every year, hey, what about a snowball? Dude,
You proved you could get it all lined up.
We almost would have broke that record. Because I think 10 days out, we had like 6,000 something people signed up. We only needed 7,500 to break a world's record.
Wow.
The county executive was involved. The mayor was there. Everybody was involved. No snow. So they're like, so now I'm looking at
How could you have known that there was not going to be snow?
So now I keep asking the board about it. They just look down at the ground. Don't even look at me in the eye. So now I'm thinking, well, how about a water balloon toss? Okay, the world's largest water balloon
There we
toss.
go.
If it's raining, we can do it in the summer. We can still do it. So I have to talk them into it. But I want to leave the mark of the Pirate Toy Fund as a world record somewhere, because I think it would be so cool for the organization to say, look what we did. And look what we did with Rochester, because we can't do anything without Rochester.
Of course.
Because they help us with everything. So, and this last year, like I said, we had a kid concert at the Blue Cross Arena, part of our 30 year. We had a gala, part of our 30-year anniversary. Next year's a little slower year, but Mike Slattery, who's on our board, he's looking to do a bike ride for the Pirate Toy Fund end of May next year. So we're trying to put that together, which will leave the Toy Fund and go to Strong Hospital and bring toys for the kids and then come back to the Toy Fund. So we're trying to get that off the ground. So we're meeting with the executive board coming up. So a lot of things. You always got to think outside the box.
You do a good job at that. What other things did you want to do? They said no. Let's get it out there now.
There's a lot of things I wanted to do. They said no. Trust me. There are some things I wanted to do. I think I wanted to do some hot air balloon stuff where people coming in on the toy drive or have someone parachute.
Toys with parachute. Yeah,
I'm telling you. We did. We were trying to bring back. We used to have Pirates and Princesses. It was a pancake thing we did. It was over at the Garden Factory. But due to some strategic issues, they can't do anything out there anymore for lawsuits and stuff. So we're trying to find a venue.
The lawyers ruin everything.
It's the person that says I did this or did that. But I always love looking outside the box. Because first of all, it brings a memory. And second of all, it just brings awareness to what you're doing. And it's the more crazy it is, the more aware it is. The more aware people become of it. So we're looking forward to it. I don't know. There's some I have in mind I can't mention yet because I don't want to tip them off because I'm trying to put the plan together before I talk to the board.
Here's a strategy. I've got a strategy for you. So think of a crazier idea first. Throw that one at them so they can shoot that down, and then you bring in what you really want to do.
I like it.
Because then it's going to seem
so you're going to get on our advisory board?
By comparison. If you need,
did you just invite me to be on the advisory board, you just said?
There were some ideas out there. Some ideas.
I love what we do. I love that we do it all year round. And again, it's not an individual thing. It's something that the Rochester puts together, and they helped us go 30 years strong. And I'm looking for another 30 years. Granted, I won't be at the helm in 30 years, but somebody else, hopefully, who has heart, does the same thing I'm doing.
I mean, it's incredible. It really is. Certainly appreciate you and
no, you guys have been great. You sponsor our toy drive. I mean, you guys do a lot for Rochester too, and getting the word out about us. I really appreciate this today. This is awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. So, anything else we should know? For anyone that has never heard of it before, your final plea to them.
Listen, if you have a charity, God bless you. Stick with it. But if you don't, I implore you to look at the Pirate Toy Fund. What we do year-round to make a difference in a child's life is unprecedented. It's because people care and people help us do it. So if you don't have one, look at our webpage or give me a call. Call the Pirate Toy Fund. I'd love to sit down and talk to you about it. But we do a lot for Rochester. We really do.
And if you have any ideas for events, definitely reach out.
It's got to be a crazy idea, okay? Not just an idea. We need a crazy idea.
Anything is on the table.
Something to put us on the map.
Okay, there we go. Really quick, we usually go to a little bit of Rochester news. I mean, biggest thing happening right now is just the election results came through. I mean, of note, I would say the biggest thing is Monroe County. The suburban towns saw a pretty significant shift there, pretty much all going blue. Parenton, Penfield, Mendon, Rush, and Greece. And not to dive too much into politics, but you got to wonder, is this happening on a local level? Are we going to see something similar next year with the midterm? So we'll have to wait and see.
Time will tell.
Yes, time will definitely tell. Hopefully, just things calm. I think we can all hope that things will calm down a little bit.
We do.
I mean, it's, going back to you guys, that times of uncertainty, just like real estate, people don't make bigger purchases, and they don't give as much to charitable organizations as well when things are in flux and in kind of chaos.
Yeah, we've been feeling it. We really have, because people are uncertainty of the future, the economy, what it's going to happen. So they're kind of reserved with their income. So, but again, we're like the stock market. We know the years are going to go up, years are going to go down. We weather it. We try building a nest egg, hopefully, to help us sustain anything that happens. But again, every year Rochester comes out. They do. Toy-wise, we always will have toys because of Rochester. So thank you for everybody who helps us, and whatever toy you bring, it goes a long way with the child.
Usually we end with anything you're listening to, anything you're watching. Do you have free time to do anything else?
I don't. I don't usually between the toy fund and trying to get things done at home, because I'm a big Coca-Cola collector.
Okay, I don't know this about you.
Dude, I got I build a 1,200 square foot, we're going to call it a carriage house. I can't call it a barn. My significant other says it's a carriage house.
Okay, it's a classier way to
but
say it.
It's 1,200 square feet. It's going to house everything in there. So I'm just finishing the ceiling in there. It's this Gary Federico, who owns Federico Wrecking, tore down a building with 120-year-old beams.
Oh,
we
very
milled it
cool.
all down. It's all the ceiling. When it's all done, you guys are going to have to come out and check it out.
Please, yeah.
And especially when I get everything's in storage right now. But once I get all the Coke stuff in, it's going to be crazy.
How did that start?
It started with an old Captain Eddie Bastian in Clinton section when I worked road patrol. They had the old glass door one. He said, "We're getting rid of this. We're getting a can machine in here. Anybody want this?" Yeah, Cap, I'll take it. And it worked perfectly. It still works today. And ever since then, I started collecting. And the sad part is my brother leaves the Secret Service and doesn't get a job at PepsiCo. It's like, really? You couldn't get a job at Coca-Cola? You had to get a job at PepsiCo?
That was on purpose.
And once in a while, you'll see a Pepsi can within my Coke collection. So I know he goes in and kind of stashes them in there and stuff. But I love it. My kids hate me because if God forbid anything ever happens to me, they got to get rid of all this stuff, dude. There's so much stuff.
So what kind of things? I mean, obviously,
I have old Coca-Cola wine barrels that they used to have the root beer and the Coke out of.
Really?
I got a bottle from 1918. Some bottles, old bottles. I got all sorts of stuff. Old, new, used. I love going to estate sales. I love going to garage sales. And everybody who goes, they might buy me for Christmas Coca-Cola socks or underwear, but guess what? I'm not wearing it. It's going in the display case. But I love doing it. It's so much fun.
You could start charging admission once the carriage house is done.
Once it's all done, it is.
There you go.
I was going to give a call to Coca. I just want to break that. There's a guy in Ohio that has the record for 5,700 items. I'd love to break that record. I have so much stuff. It's unbelievable. Like I said, when it's all done and set up, you got to come check it out.
That would be awesome.
No, we will. And again, thank you for you guys allowing us to come out and preach what we do.
Of course, absolutely happy to support it, and thank you for.
Are you training for the Carousel Derby yet, or?
Yes, I am just getting sick over and over again. It's not usually that bad, but this year, sometimes you don't know what we're walking into. So again, for just context, we sit on the carousel at the Strawn Museum of Play for 2 hours, roughly.
But there's breaks. You get breaks.
There was a few less breaks this year than there were the previous years.
I'll talk to management about that.
It's fine.
Okay?
You know what? If we raise more money to buy more toys, then it's totally fine. So
That's awesome. Well, I greatly appreciate you helping us out as always.
yeah, thank you, Otto. Appreciate it. And thank you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you again next week.